Today I want to talk about animal testing for my persuasive speech and how I believe that with our current technologies and capabilities that animal testing isn't really much of a necessity or a need that we have to perform as much as it was in the past. Although I think that animal testing has been a necessary evil in the past because we didn't have the technology we do now. We had to use it to test medicine and certain procedures that we would perform on people. Nowadays, our technology and capabilities have progressed past animal testing. By using alternative methods, it could end the pain, distress, and even death that can be caused by these experiments. And millions of these experiments are done every year. First, I want to talk about why humans have turned to animals in the past, because I think it's important to know the history. Animal experimentation has been used for many centuries, mostly used to learn certain anatomies. Very early on, the first signs of this were in the ancient Greeks in the 3rd and around the 4th centuries. They performed experiments on living livestock to try and learn the anatomy. Although it could be considered inhumane to do nowadays, it was necessary at the time because we needed to learn more about the body. Another example is in 12th century Spain, animal experimentation was used as a method to test surgical procedures before applying them to human patients. We would learn and try to transfer all the skills we would learn from these animals into humans so that we could save lives. And near the 20th century, we would start to use animals as a way to drug test to make sure that the clinical medicine that was being tested was safe for human ingestion and that we would take it without being harmed. Because we as humans share many genomes with animals, and many animals are receptive to the same diseases that we humans get, it was beneficial to us. It was an easy way to test things that would help humans. In recent years, the use of animals in this medical setting have been criticized by animal rights groups, and several laws have been put in place to make practices more humane. Although a lot of the current population is still shown to be in support of this animal testing, they believe it's a proper way to advance medical and biological knowledge. So it has a history of being debated and heavily controversial. I believe that we can use alternatives to test on rather than animals. One alternative is a way to use microchips that can model after our own organs in the human body. This method can more accurately replicate the human physiology because as close as animals are to getting in the place of humans and acting as us in these experiments, they're still animals and they don't share the same exact physiology as humans. This model is human cell-based, and it can actually act as a real organ with the same characteristics, but on the chip. This is a type of in vitro model, and it provides a great opportunity to study a cellular response where the conditions are maintained. This can be used to help study how diseases progress and how drugs can be metabolized. So it's one of the best options we could use in place of animals without all the suffering that animals would go through. Another way is to take animal tissues, whether it be healthy or diseased tissues from human volunteers. This is a much more accurate way of studying human biology and physiology. Computer models already exist and they are currently used to replicate aspects of the human body, and this is better than any animal could. Many people are hesitant to use these alternative models because they believe this will halt medical development and slow the progression we have made with our testing. But even if it did slow progress for even a short amount of time, the technology is there and we're able to use it, so why shouldn't we? These animals, most predominantly mice, are commonly bred in a lab and are studied. Then ultimately they're euthanized, no matter what, they're killed. So they wouldn't have to deal with the adverse defects that were given to them from these experiments. This just goes to show that this is a vicious cycle that these animals are put through just for our own benefit when we have so many other ways to run these experiments, but we're choosing the easy way out or whatever is convenient that we have done in the past rather than changing how we are. And I think this pain and distress that we're putting these animals through is not necessary with our current technology, and it could be used to a change. It'll be fine.